What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Smoke World. I'm your host, Stone, so I want you to go grab a stick, grab a glass, whatever you're going to be drinking, sit back, relax, and let's have a conversation. I'm honored to have the boys, my brothers of the Leaf, in the building. I got Mike in the building, and I got Ray. What's up, fellas? How you feeling?
What's going on?
What's going on?
So what's up, fellas, man? It's like, what's been going on since the this pandemic is, I guess we're getting closer to a point where we can actually start smoking back at the lounge. Where have you guys been smoking? I'll start with you, Mike. Where you been smoking at?
I've been smoking at home, on the deck, in the car on the way from work. I'm still working, so life for me really hasn't changed other than not being able to go to the lounge and see the fellas.
Okay. How about you, Ray? Where you been smoking at?
Smoking in the car, smoking on the patio. Definitely in the car on the way to work, from work.
Okay.
Sitting on the patio at night.
That's what's up. That's what's up because I'm curious to know how things are going to look on the other side of this phase 2 episode as far as going to the lounge. Now, are you concerned about any of the social distancing or the confines of the pandemic, COVID-19? Are you nervous about going back to the lounge, or do you have any reservations about any of that?
Nah, I don't have any reservations about going back to the lounge.
No,
Not at all.
Not at all. So you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
You ready to go back out there and make a move? So that's not, the COVID-19 is not really forefront right now as far as.
Not really forefront.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Gotcha. How about you?
I differ in opinion. I think for me, I got to be a little bit more reserved. I don't think it's over. I don't think that the phase 2 is actually the right thing to do right now. And that's just working with the general public and seeing that people aren't really adhering to social distancing guidelines and things of that nature. So I think I'm going to take it easy for a little bit longer and see how things play out.
Okay. So, all right. Well, you're kind of in a unique position, too, because your profession, you work at a bank. We don't have to say what bank that is, but are the banks open for customers? Can you come into the banks now, or do you still have to do the drive-through or make an appointment?
My particular bank, we still are on appointment-based, drive-through only. So right now we have no ETA as to when we're going to open our doors back up to the general public without an appointment. And personally, I'm on that side of the fence as well. I think that we shouldn't. Just seeing some of the things that I see day in and day out with customers that are coming in to the branches, like I said, not adhering to the social distancing guidelines, getting in the building, taking off their mask, letting the mask hang off their face. So I'm not really comfortable exposing not only my team but my family to the ills of this COVID-19 thing.
That's a fair statement, definitely. So let me ask you another question in reference to that. Now, I think businesses are mandatory to outline 6 feet as far as where the customer would stand. Now, interestingly enough, I guess if you have to make an appointment, you do have to sit across from this individual to communicate with them on whatever their banking needs may be. Are you guys at the bank setting up tables and 6 feet apart from the customers at this time?
Yeah, so all of us I have an office, then the cubicles where my employees work at. We do have 6 feet measured out from the desk to where the chairs are for the customer. If they're on the teller line, we do have 6 feet markers on the ground. So we're just making sure that they adhere to that when they're in the building and establishment.
Okay. Now, Ray, you work with airlines. Now, we've been hearing about the airlines since the beginning that he took a hit. Now, you got a bird's eye view. You're there every day. Are things starting to pick up? Or maybe we can rewind a little bit to go back to say, as far as when things really slowed down, I guess right in the midst of this, I think it was around March, somewhere in that area, that we had a scenario where, airline traffic, passenger traffic, traveling public, things decrease. Are you starting to see an increase now?
Yeah, right now we're seeing a significant increase with summer traffic. Like I said, in March it died down. We were like 15%, sometimes 8% during the day, during the weeks. But as of right now, we're starting to pick back up a lot. We're back up to like 50% right now with summer traffic, and the outlook is very good. I think right now we're forecasted for the summer months to be back up in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So right now you're seeing, I guess, since the
Steady
doors
increase.
was a green light, said, okay.
Yeah. Everybody, since they started with the phases, traffic has picked up a lot, especially to your summer destinations.
Are there any particular steps that airlines are taking? Because I've been hearing so many different things as far as
So
rumors.
every airline now has a certain booking. So we're booked at 75% right now. So 75% of the seats are filled. So what we're doing is trying to keep middle seats empty, and the seats near the flight attendants are pretty much, we're going to keep those rows kind of empty as of right now.
Now, again, I was hearing rumors, and you're a perfect person to ask this question to. There were rumors that airlines were going to remove the middle seat, or I guess, let's not say remove because that's too much money to do that. I guess keep the middle seat vacant to keep the social distance guidelines. But I've seen on the news that, folks are taking pictures of the flights are full, and are you required as a passenger to wear the mask while flying?
So,
you can probably speak to that.
guidelines right now for passengers flying is that when they come to check in, we're encouraging checking in on the kiosk. If they have a problem with their ticket, they're allowed to come up to the counter, but as you say, 6-foot rule is in effect. We have petitions up for every station. We also, if we're asking the passengers that they do wear their masks on board, and if they don't have them, we're handing them out.
Okay, so you guys are supplying
We are
masks.
supplying masks.
Okay, cool. All right, enough of that nonsense. We do talk about cigars here too. And interestingly, before we got on air, we were discussing some cigars. You guys were telling me about a cigar company that you found in Connecticut. Maybe one of you guys can kind of tell me about that. Get some nice deals on some good cigars. Anybody can take a stab at that. Because again, my palate, I have a good palate. My pocket's just a little flat, so I can't really smoke them cigars that you guys smoke. But it's not I don't like those cigars, but how my bank account is set right now is a little tricky.
No, we basically discussed what the quarantine did as far as cigar smoking and accessibility to our normal hangouts. What it did for me basically was it moved me to more of an online space where I'm looking at little shops in different states across the country just to see what they have, and I was grateful enough to find this company called Night Cigar Lounge in Connecticut.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to Night Cigars. Great selection of cigars.
Had a good selection of boutique cigars, and we developed a relationship over the last 3 months. So definitely check out his selection on his Facebook page. He definitely has some good stuff up there.
Is there anything that you would recommend that you might have came across that you haven't had before?
There's a lot that I would recommend.
Yeah, a lot of
Break it
stuff.
down. This is what we all about here, man.
Let's-
Relax. Y'all sitting there talking
let's-
like we on Channel 6 or something. Relax. Get a little closer to the mic so y'all sit
One
back
of the cigars I would suggest is the Night Fight. It's very hard to get. It's a boutique cigar, full body, Maduro wrapper. It's 6.5 by 52. Excellent cigar for the full body flavor people.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all guys looking a little looking a little nervous or something. What's going on? This is a relaxed atmosphere. This is the
Relaxed.
Smoke World podcast. We sit back, we relax, we just having the conversations. Disregard that the mics are on. We just talking. We just same thing we do outside. We doing right now. I said y'all got your professional voices on and you're looking real spiffy, sitting back, sounding like Barry White. Yeah, baby, the cigar is 6.5 by 52. But that's what's up. So, okay. And what's the name of it again? What's the spot? It's in Connecticut, right?
Night Cigars.
Night Cigars.
Night Cigars.
Now, Ray, you're a traveling man, brother. So, you have that advantage based on one of the fringe benefits of flying and working with the airlines. I think you just recently came back from Vegas.
Yes, I did.
Okay. How was that? How did it look out there? Does it look like the crowd is
The
coming
crowd
back?
is coming back. Crowd is coming back. The hotels are starting to open back up in phases. But if you're out in Vegas, a must stop is Casa Fuente and Caesar's Forms.
All right,
Must
well,
stop.
well, you guys figure everybody don't know everything about that. You talking like everybody know everything about Casa
We're not as
Fuente.
privileged as Ray, right?
Yeah, you got to break it down. You got to tell us
So-
where that's at.
Let's talk about Casa Fuente open Caesar's Farms Center. It's spot open Caesar's. It's back up in the cut, as we would say. Been there for several years now. If you want your opuses, best place to be. Opuses, Casa Fuentes anything 204 they have in stock.
Okay. Okay.
Excellent drink menu. I would suggest the tangerine mojito myself.
Wow, that sounds good.
Excellent drink. But anything you need, they got.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, obviously, we reneged not to discuss what's been going on in America right now. We already had the pandemic. Folks were in lockdown for about 2 months at least, 2 months or more. And the George Floyd scenario, obviously, we don't have to discuss with everyone. If you're living under a rock, you probably know what George Floyd is at this point. You know that name. The question I asked another brother, our brother Ron. We all know Ron. He's,
Shout out to Mr. Ron.
Yeah, Ron is the governor of our cigar lounge. We call him the governor. But I asked him a question in reference to this. He's an older gentleman, and I asked him, has he seen anything such as this, what was taking place? Now, he did say, obviously, back in the 60s, the civil rights movement. And I asked the question, do you think this is a movement or a moment? And his answer was he thought it was just a moment. And I felt the need to disagree, only because I haven't seen anything in my lifetime. And again, I'm not an older guy, but old enough to know I haven't seen anything such as this type of push, this type of movement with people coming together, black, white, Asian, across the world. So I'm thinking, again, in my opinion, that this is more so a movement and not a moment. And a movement requires sacrifice. We all know that. I just want to get you guys' opinion on what's been taking place. Do you think this is a moment or a movement?
I'm not going to touch on it too much. I can't necessarily say it's a movement, and I can't say it's a moment. I think history is going to tell us, depending on what changes happen or what changes come from this, whether it was a movement or a moment or not. So I'm still in the deciding phase when it comes to that.
Fair enough.
I think on that subject, I think we have to look at what's going on and where we need to be at. So, okay, we know police brutality is around. We know it's been going on for a while now. I think it finally hit a head. I think that bubble has burst. We need to make a stand right now. We need to show them that we're getting tired of it and something needs to be done. Reform, these conversations needed to be had a while ago, but I think that just pushed it over the hump. So as of right now, it's leaning. You don't know which way it's to lean. You have to see what your leaders are going to do.
That's a good point. I'm glad that's a good segue, because the difference between, I guess, what happened in civil rights, there was a clear leadership role with individuals, King, Malcolm. We can go down the list. Here, we don't really have anyone in particular. It's a group of individuals, really across the world, same message. But the question I have, if it's time to sit down at the table to make these policy and legal changes, who would be the one who would sit down to clearly articulate our needs, our requests, our demands, opposed to back in the civil rights where you had individuals who can actually, we knew we can go to and call on?
I personally don't think that we need a mouthpiece. At the end of the day, it's a known fact what African American individuals have been going through. So for us to have or need a mouthpiece at this point is dead to me. I don't think we need that. What I think we need as a whole is some of these white people that have this white privilege and powerful positions to use their white privilege in a way that's more conducive or for the betterment of us. That's what we need at this point. It's nothing that, obviously, we've done enough. We can only do so much.
I agree with that.
So it's time for the white people that have the power and the privilege to use their privilege for change in this area of the U.S.
And what you keep hearing Ray doing is he keep banging a bottle of beer on the table. So if you hear that banging noise, that's Ray, bro. He gonna be drinking his beer, keep banging it on the like pop or something.
It's a sensitive subject for him.
Yeah,
you know, it's a
he
sore,
keep banging his beer.
It's a sore point.
So I was trying to figure out, like, okay, yo, he doing a lot of banging over there. So if you hear the banging, that's Ray. Blame Ray. Ray did it.
In order for change, you have to have two sides. somebody has to listen, somebody has to talk, then somebody has to come back with a rebuttal. Right now, the people that need to be listening, 45, is not listening.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Talking
Not
about
at all.
Agent Orange.
Yes.
Let's talk about Lafayette Square, where for a photo op, he sent his people in to clear out a square to hold up a Bible near a church.
That's a little gangster.
That's a little gangster.
That's a lot.
That's a lot gangster.
It's a lot gangster.
That's a lot gangster.
Yeah, that was a lot.
For what
gangster.
purpose?
Photo op.
Photo op.
Photo op.
So if you go through history, who else has done that? Hitler. Photo op.
Preach, brother.
If you talk to the
What's your
minister,
format?
if you talk to the minister of that church, he knew nothing about that. He didn't agree with it at all either. Now you have generals saying, "I don't think I should have been there."
Yeah.
His own cabinet members, "I shouldn't have been there. Maybe I should resign."
That's powerful.
Because what is that telling you? Now that some of his people are backing off. The June 16th thing, where he was going to be in Tulsa, we knew what happened in Tulsa. We had a community there, thriving community. They chased us out, burned us down, chased us off. But now you want to hold a rally in Tulsa on June 16th.
Yeah.
So
Come on,
now
son.
his
Come
people,
on, son.
his people finally got to him, was like, that ain't a good move.
Yeah, if you don't know, he did postpone that. I think he's going to go
On the
next
20th.
day. Right.
So we have to look at it. And then he comes back and says, I have a lot of black voters. But are you listening to your black voters?
Excellent point. Excellent point.
You know, think about it. And I'm gonna get here. Back in the day, when they were hunting slaves, they offered how much?
You breaking this down, educating us.
12. What did he give us for a stimulus check? 12.
Oh, you putting some history down. I don't think I
So
knew that.
You need to,
You're educating me right now.
You need to look at that. So you were saying, I'm going to pay off the man with 12 to bring the slaves back into the house, get them correct. That's the wrong idea. How did they come up with this number 12?
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, see, we getting educated here on Smoke World. So, folks,
It's a little bit too heavy for me. I'm
I'm saying,
come
yeah,
here
we
for
don't, this podcast is, we talk about everything. We can lighten it a little bit, change the subject matter. I see Mike over here. He's sniffing on a cigar right now. What you got over there, brother?
This is Castadelli, formerly known as Bespoke Cigars, Daughters of the Wind Robusto. It's a great stick.
Yeah, he over here fiending for it. He's over there sniffing, looking at it, looking around the room like, yo, I need to smoke my cigar, man. You talking all this crazy stuff right now. Yeah, this is not a political forum, but we just having a conversation, folks. This is what we do. And like I said, what else is going on, man? Like I said, relax, talk to me. What else is happening in your life right now? We going back. I mean, for me personally, my real back to reality starts on Monday. I've been doing some stuff back and forth going on call, but back on Monday, I ain't looking forward to that. And unfortunately, what has taken place, I needed the reset personally. Now, of course, with all what's taking place is not a good thing, but that reset, I needed that. I hadn't had a vacation in a while. I did definitely need that little reset. And like I said, gave you a little time to think, get your head right, probably smoke too many cigars, drink too much. And I told people in the other podcast, most people's livers were going to follow PFA on them. Just from abuse, like, if you're drinking every night, you ain't got to work every night. It's like a Friday night, you can smoke, stay up late, ain't got to worry about getting out.
Well, you were one of the lucky ones because
Yeah,
Mike was working.
Yeah, I was working. I was wondering what that was like. I was sitting at my job just jealous, like that.
That's interesting you say that, but now I guess you weren't doing, let's say, not your normal duties because things were, I guess, drizzled down a few notches based on your duties. You in airlines, you still were flying. You had people coming in. I guess it was very minimal. Wasn't too many flights going in and out.
Yeah, mostly no international flights.
Okay, right. International was shut down.
Yeah.
And that's back open now, right?
No,
Or
it hasn't opened back up yet.
Oh, really?
No, it hasn't. Not out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, yes
Do they-
and no. I mean, my duties still stayed the same. When you manage a team, you manage a team. They still there every day. So
Now, did your team have to come to work every day, or you guys was doing a Zoom thing?
no branches. You know, we
So,
work with the
okay.
general public. People still wanted the cash checks, deposit money.
Okay.
So we were still required to be there every
Gotcha.
day. So your new normal is my normal.
Yeah. How about that? I'm going back. I can't say I missed it. Can't say that. But okay, I didn't know the international flights had not started back up again.
No, I haven't started back up yet. We're doing more cargo flights than anything now.
Is there any word on any particular time frame? Have
Right
you heard
now, they
anything?
just, when Europe opened back up and 45 flights come back in, we'll start back up.
Can we
Okay.
just call him Agent Orange? Like, do we have to reference him as 45? Like,
Now, one of the things I did
put an asterisk by that?
Yeah,
Notice-
put an asterisk by that.
and you guys brought up a good point with the new spot that you found in Connecticut. Since we were only place we can buy cigars at that point in time when the pandemic was in its midst, was probably online. And now that the brick and mortar stores are opening back up again with certain guidelines and regulations, I'm just making folks, hey, make sure you go back and support that brick and mortar because again, that's how they make their money. That's where we get to sit back, enjoy ourselves, conversate, have a good bus. Since some people don't know what busing mean, for those who don't know what that means, that's a term that's used in the urban atmosphere where we talk about each other. And we got one guy, we won't mention his name, that he likes to start some stuff at the lounge. So that's the kind of stuff that we kind of miss. The camaraderie, getting with folks, smoking. This is like, for me, motorcycle riding. I used to ride a motorcycle. It was cool by yourself. But when you had a crew and you rode, it was a different experience. And that's how I feel cigar smoke is that way. You can smoke cigars on your deck, outside on your porch, your car, but it's just not the same without the crew. That's just my opinion. Would y'all agree with being?
I agree with that.
I agree. I mean, it depends, though. Sometimes I don't feel like being bothered.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why you just don't show up to the
Yeah,
lounge.
that's when you just don't show up. Like,
You say, look,
and I've been having a lot of days where I just don't feel like being bothered lately, being as though, I didn't have to quarantine or
That's what I'm
leave
saying. You've been
work.
working
So,
every day. So, yeah.
it's been a lot of days where I just wanted to just go out on the deck at 9, 10 o'clock at night and just have that time where I just hear nature and just smoke my cigar or watch my iPad or
Just
catch
reflect.
up on whatever. Yeah, just reflect. So, I mean, yeah, I do miss the camaraderie, but at the same time, it's done a lot. This whole pandemic thing has done a lot for me as far as just slowing everything down because you move so fast.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
You don't realize that all that time that you're moving so fast, you're not getting that time back. So it definitely served as a time of reflection and just to slow down a little bit and savor the little moments.
Like a reset. Like I said, it was a reset for me. I needed that. But so what else is going on, man? Y'all, like I said, you sitting back, chilling. Y'all got your hand, this guy Mike over here, he got his feet up. Ray sitting, Ray got some education.
Yeah.
I know Ray was, you was a bookman.
Yeah.
You gave me some information, some little nuggets of history that I didn't know.
The only other thing that's really been going on for me, like I said, is I just took the time to experience other cigar lounges and different shops around the country, just ordering from different shops, finding new boutique brands like Ezra Zion and Nomad. Even though they've been out for a while, I'm just discovering them, so they're new to me.
Gotcha.
Stuff like Casadeli, like I said, Casadeli cigars. Just smoking a lot of smaller, newer companies. Dapper Cigars is another one. They have a couple brands that are good. So I just been taking this time to really dig into the boutique cigars and not the everyday smokes that you can find.
Well, do you have a go-to smoke? Speaking of every day, do you have anything, a particular thing that, you know what, this is my go-to right now?
Right now?
Yeah, because, that changes just based on...
Right now, it's basically the Daughters of the Rim Robusto. And a combination of like the Supreme Leaf, by
Definitely
Angarosa
Supreme
Leaf.
Can you find those in the store, or you really pretty much those cigars you have to kind of order online because they're
Supreme
so...
Leaf you can find in the store right now. They're
Some
coming out with a
stores,
Toro
yeah.
right now.
How about you, Ray? You got a go-to that you...
My go-to is it's too many.
Right, that's what I figured. I mean,
I've been smoking so many, it's not like
It's not even a go-to.
it's not a go-to at this moment
No,
because
man.
it just has. I've been smoking so many different things that it's not really a go-to. So I've been learning to buy like 5 of each, or whatever new cigar I smoke, and that way, if I do like it, I can come back to it
Yeah,
you know, and
definitely.
revisit it a couple times, and then double up and buy some more once I realize I like it. So I have some stock. But for the most part, man, I'm everywhere. My palate is everywhere.
Now, what are you pairing your cigars with? Are you kind of exploring this in that same arena with some
So-
of the alcohol?
Being on this quote unquote break, I think me and Mike been dabbling in different whiskeys, bourbons, trying a little bit of everything. Elijah Craig 18-year, great bottle.
Great bottle.
Great bottle.
I was fortunate enough to get a bottle of that.
Clyde May,
Clyde May,
great
good
bottle.
bottle. Booker's,
Booker's,
Okay.
the
unfiltered.
2019,
Unfiltered.
yeah,
Yes.
unfiltered.
Now, mentioning these fine spirits, is there anything that you found that, as far as a cigar and the Bookers, for example, or Elijah Craig, you know what, this cigar really paired well with this? And again, that could be a moment in time, but
But it also depends on the strength of the alcohol. So if you're looking at something 100 proof, you want to go more medium body.
Booker's is 126.
Yeah, you want to
yeah,
go
I'm
medium
familiar
body.
with Bookers. That'll knock you on your back. That will knock you on your back,
You want to
folks.
go medium body.
It's not a beginner's drink.
Depending on and then also, like I said, depends on what you smoke. If you smoke full body cigars, you want to go something a little lighter
Gotcha.
to balance it out.
Now, are you
If you
guys
smoke
more
something
of a,
light, you want to go something heavy.
are you guys a Scotch guy or a bourbon or?
I'm more of a bourbon. I
You're
got
a
a lot
bourbon
of
man?
bourbons.
Bourbon.
Yeah, a lot of
Whiskey.
bourbons in my
Okay, you
my
mentioned
cabinet.
Elijah Craig.
Yeah,
You too. You
Yeah, I'm
Elijah
More
Craig.
bourbon?
more bourbon.
okay?
But
Willet.
I
Now,
can
are
do
you
whiskey.
not? You're not anti-Scotch, just more.
No, I'm
of
not
a-
anti-Scotch
I'm
now.
not
I gotta do some Macallan now.
Yeah,
get some
again, these
Macallan.
guys are big boys in here. They talking McAllen and Elijah Craig, 18 year. I hope y'all caught that, folks. 18 year. Yeah, that don't cost $10.
But you got to match up your cigar well. Like
Any recommendations
right now,
based on your experience?
as far as what alcohol or cigars,
The combination.
I would think, and this is my personal opinion, I would match up, and I've smoked it. Eye of the Shark goes well with Uncle Nearest.
Oh, good old Uncle Nearest. Maybe you should tell them about Uncle Nearest. Everybody's not familiar with Uncle Nearest. I'm finding out.
So if you're not familiar
Definitely
with
got
Uncle
a
Nearest,
bottle of that on deck.
Uncle Nearest was the person that taught Jack Daniels how to distill his alcohol. And they had this hidden for a long time until a reporter went to interview the descendants of Uncle Nearest and found out what the real deal was. So they were able to get that recipe and start to make Uncle Nearest. So if you taste it too, you'll notice Uncle Nearest is a little bit better than Jack in my opinion.
Okay. I have had Uncle Nearest. That is a good, folks. Good drink. If you haven't tried it, check it out. And you can find it at your retail stores. It's not one of those kind of things that you got to really search for. How about you, Mike? Anything in particular?
Nothing in
far as-
particular. Honestly, I don't really drink unless I had company.
Okay. Hey, ain't nothing
You
wrong
know
with
what I
that.
mean? Unless you all come over or I'm over here, I'm not a big, at the end of the night, I gotta have a glass and a cigar.
So you're trying to say you're an alcoholic. That's cool. That's cool.
I mean,
I
that's
understand.
to each his own. That's what the quarantine. That's what the quarantine did to you. Man, while I'm here.
Exactly.
So
PFA.
I didn't quarantine. So
That's
so,
very
nah.
true.
But I mean, honestly, and also when I smoke a cigar for the first time, I want to taste what the cigar really is about on the first try anyway. So
Okay.
I'm not really too much into pairing. That's not my field of expertise. I'm not going to claim to be an expert. So.
Oh, no. I know I can't speak as far as an expert. You're just discussing what you like. It's a personal preference. So it's not there. Anything else going on, fellas, that you want to share with us?
No. But I will say, if you ever get out to San Diego, you gotta go to Lord Puffer's. Gotta go to Lord Puffer's.
And that is a lounge.
That's a lounge.
Okay. Again,
Fuente specialized.
Fuente specialized. Anything Fuente that you need, Lord Puffer's has it.
interesting. Okay. And that's in San Diego.
It's near San Diego, it's in Ensenada, but excellent shop.
All right. So that's what's up. Nobody got anything else? You guys kind of stayed real tight, but that's cool. I appreciate y'all.
Stay real tight. It's up to the host to get this out of us. Like, yeah. I mean, we could talk about what we were talking about before you cut the mic on.
Well, that's the
house.
thing.
We don't know whose house this is because you got 7 different identities.
Well, you know,
We got Arthur,
we got some people
Art,
looking
Stone, Kevin.
You know, we got those people looking for me, man.
We got your immigration passport hung up in frame.
I got my
And we
papers
can
and
talk
everything.
about that.
You know, 45 looking for people like me.
Agent Orange, man. Agent
You know
Orange.
what I'm saying?
We can talk about
Like
that.
that.
You didn't get those conversations.
Well, it ain't too late. It's not too late. The mic is still hot. Talk to us.
It's not the same when you repeat it, though. You got to catch it in the moment.
Oh, damn.
Lost the magic. You know about this. Lost the magic.
Damn. Yeah, this is not necessarily an interview scenario. We just sitting here relaxing, folks, chilling, having a conversation. You know, we're getting to the phase 2, so hopefully we'll start to see some more brothers and sisters of the Leaf. We'll be able to sit down.
Yeah,
get
hopefully
the
we can all
experiences.
come back at the same time, man.
Well,
That'd be wild.
Well, here's the thing with that, because recently I did go visit one of the shops, and the capacity, the seating capacity, was limited to maybe like 4 people. So again, I'm figuring out how this look on the other side.
FYI, we are maintaining social distancing too. I just want to put that out there.
no
We
doubt.
are in the same place, but we maintaining social distancing.
I don't think CDC is going to come and investigate us, but we are doing that. So for those who are listening, we are doing that. And I was hoping that the lounges don't turn into like a cheesecake factory style where we got to get a beeper and tell us that we got to wait 45 minutes to get a seat. To say, hold on, no, we don't have any
If it goes to
availability.
that, I will stay at home.
I think so.
I will stay at home. I can
And-
promise you that much.
And I think that's a concern with a lot of the owners, cigar owners, that own the shops, that, or anybody who owns a restaurant or a business, that they can't operate at a 50% capacity when you have small, intimate restaurants who may have a seating capacity of only 20 people. Now you tell them they can have 10 people in there. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting moving forward. But like I said, we got to stay safe. We got to be smart about this. But as a business owner, yeah, economically, yeah, they're hurting. So, well, look, fellas, I appreciate y'all sitting down with me, man, and having a discussion.
Oh man, whenever.
Yo, y'all got to come back
Anytime.
next time. I mean, I want y'all to be drunk next time because y'all too
we're not gonna
laid
be
back.
drunk.
Stone, you ever see me drunk?
Drunk.
That's the problem. I need y'all to be drunk next time.
You ever see me drunk?
We're going to get you drunk for Smoke World's going to get you drunk. Well, look, folks, that's the end of this episode. I appreciate y'all sitting back, listening to us. We will check you out on the other side. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at SmokeWorld50. We actually have email now. That's right. We all modernized. SmokeWorld50@gmail.com. So, look, folks, we appreciate y'all listening. We will check you out on the other side. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.